Are you the type of backpacker that has to have a sub 3-pound tent but still needs absolutely every feature possible in your tent? What's up, guys? My name is Dan, and today we're talking about the Sea to Summit Alto 2-person tent here in beautiful Arizona. Okay, so this is a newer Sea to Summit tent. First off, this is a semi-freestanding tent. Now, if you don't know what a semi-freestanding tent is, that just means that you have to stake out at least part of the tent in order for it to be set up properly. And in this case, there's 2 stakes that absolutely need to be staked out for this to be staked up properly. A fully freestanding tent means that the pole structure actually holds up the entire tent, all 4 corners, so you technically don't need stakes. But if you really want to get the most out of your tent, just stake out your tent when you can. It's really going to open it up, and it's going to make it a lot more usable. All right, so first thing you're going to notice in this tent is that it is a very roomy tent, even noticing by looking on the outside of the tent. The front and the back and both sides are almost completely vertical. What is super unique about this tent is that this top portion here, it has a brow pole that sort of bows upward, which is really unique, I think only to Sea to Summit, and it ventilates up here. So you can literally just zip and unzip this to ventilate the tent, which when I was in Wisconsin, backpacking northern Wisconsin in winter in December, lots of snow, I had no condensation at all, which is the first time like ever. So, and then what they've also done, which is really unique, is they've got sort of these supports here that just kind of prop themselves up. Like most tents, it does kind of catch a little bit, but not, they're just catching right there, but not as bad as some other tents. Like I have tents made by Big Agnes that are notorious for catching on the zipper. But this one does a pretty good job, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. That is kind of frustrating when that happens. And then the vestibule space is adequate. You can easily fit a backpack underneath here, gear, boots, whatever you want to do when you're in your tent for the night. And if you want a side to roll back, just roll back like this. Toggle it. By the way, my cameraman today is Eric Hanson.
Hi, everybody.
If you don't know who Eric is, check out his channel, Backpacking TV. He also hosts a TV show called Epic Trails. Make sure you check him out for sure. And we're actually going to go check out his tent in a second. He has the Telos, which is the other version of this tent, the fully freestanding version of this tent. So make sure you stick around for that. So a lot of people don't like this. I don't mind it too much, but a lot of people don't like these rainbow sort of style doors because typically they take more than one hand to zip and unzip. See, like right there, it's just, you got to kind of, you need 2 hands rather than having like the zipper doors that one zipper here and one zipper here. If you've got a good view like these mountains over here, yeah, it's nice to be able to open up your tent like this and just live for the view, essentially. I don't do good with stats. So I'm going to put the stats up on the screen, and I'm going to pretend like I know the stats here. Because I don't know the stats, I can never remember the stats. But
What stats are you talking about, Dan?
the stats, which would be like the measurements and the weights and all that stuff.
I know the stats.
You do?
53 inches at the head,
Oh my gosh.
38 at the foot,
Oh, there you go.
according to Sea to Summit's website.
Which we were actually talking about that earlier. We don't like that, do we?
38 at the foot is very narrow.
It's a little narrow. So essentially what that means is that you will be able to get 2 20-inch wide pads in here, but they're going to have to be the mummy style pads. So like for instance, this is a 20-inch wide pad, rectangular. So the top and bottom of the pad is 20 inches wide. But as you can easily see, you are not going to get 2 pads in here. You're only going to get 1 in here if it's square like that.
That's more than half.
Yep. So you're going to want to get one that tapers at the bottom if you're planning on putting 2 pads in here. So that's super important. It could be really frustrating if you bought your pads first, then you ordered your tent and you're like, oh, we can't use it. Or my wife's not going with me. Which some of you probably would like that, wouldn't you? You're a terrible husband. Some things I absolutely love about this tent. Tons of places to like just hang stuff all over the place. Headroom in this tent is the best of any semi-freestanding tent that I have found for sure. So you've got a person that could easily sit over here, another person easily sitting over here. Eric, would you like to sit in the tent with me?
Oh, hey, thanks for inviting me in. Look,
So
2 people.
yeah, look at that. Sitting in here. I mean, Okay, honestly, it's always uncomfortable with you, Eric, anywhere we go.
I generally make things uncomfortable.
But you could easily see that there's a lot of headroom in here for two people to sit up, like if you had to wait out a storm or, you're like, I don't know, playing cards or just whatever. Bugs are too bad and you just want to get inside the tent. So you can do that. A lot of semi-freestanding tents, you're laying down here, or at least one person is.
It's like a pancake.
It's like a pancake. So, yeah, why don't you show them?
Oh, here is an example. Oh, my head. You get like 6 inches off the ground.
How tall are you?
6 foot?
Okay, 6 foot. Let's show them your headroom. Let's show them what we got here. Okay, so we got plenty of headroom up there for you.
This is 83 and a half
83
inches from foot to toe.
I'm glad somebody
foot to toe.
Glad somebody prepared for
foot
the video.
Head to foot.
And foot room, you had plenty of foot room there too. So like if you were up on the sleeping pad and you had your feet inside of a sleeping bag, you can see that the top of the tent isn't going to rub or touch on that sleeping bag.
Plenty of room.
So that's a issue for some people. They don't want that tent pushing down on their sleeping bag, compressing the sleeping bag, and then essentially potentially making their feet cold at night. So that's kind of a big deal. This is the bag that your tent poles come in, and they wasted nothing here. They turned this into like a light. They call it a light bar, and it comes with, which I probably wouldn't take with me because this just seems a little bulky. It comes with this plastic sort of insert, very lightweight, that goes inside here, and then it's got a white diffusing fabric here. You can throw a headlamp or two in there and shine it down and diffuse light into your tent. Is this something that you're going to buy the tent for? Is this something that I would use? Probably not. I've got headlamps that I just hang, or I've got a really cool air pump that I use that has a light on it that I just hang from the inside of my tent. So I probably wouldn't take this, but I obviously would still take the tent bag. One thing to keep in mind about this particular tent bag that some manufacturers do, some people love it, some people don't. This is a double-ended stuff stack. This is double-ended stuff sack. So, like for instance, if you're dropping your poles in here, I hope you got the other end tightened up because it's just gonna slide and drop right through, because it may or may not have happened to me before where...
Dan, are you confessing something?
Yes, I am. And you could lose stuff out the bottom of one of these, so just keep that in mind as you are using this, but pretty cool that they did that. Also, you guys like that transition? That was Eric's idea.
Thank you.
What's great about this tent, something that I really do love and would use, and I think it's fantastic, I think more manufacturers should do this, is they give you 2 bags, one for the rain fly and one for the tent, which is super cool because if it's raining, right, and you've got a wet rain fly, you want that on the outside of your pack. So you can separate the two and stick it on the outside of your pack. And then you could keep the tent on the inside of your backpack because then you don't want it to get wet and it will stay dry on the inside of your backpack. So that's super cool. But then these also double as, whoa, look at pockets that you can snap to the inside of your tent. All of the corners, like when you're setting up the tent, are color coded. Thank you so much, Sea to Summit, for doing that. Every manufacturer needs to color code their corners of their tents. I don't know why you wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense. Even if you're a expert tent setter-upper, is that a word?
Yep.
Why wouldn't you color code? We all get lost. It's like, where's the head end? Where's the foot end? Color code it. So thank you guys for doing that at Sea to Summit. All of the corners are adjustable, so they can be tensioned. That is also super cool. So like if it's raining and your nylon starts to sag on your tent and you're, in the morning you want to wake up and, re-tighten your tent up, you can do that very, very easy. So that's super cool. And in the corners here of the tent portion, a lot of semi-freestanding tents don't do this. This actually has like a solid pole, like a plastic piece or something in there that's holding this up to help square out the bottom. So that's also something super, super helpful. So thank you to Jake Law.
Oh.
Thank you to Jake Law. Thanks, Jake, figuring that one out. We really appreciate it.
Why does that make a difference?
Because it helps square out the corner of the tent, doesn't sag down. And it just, when you're trying to get as much room out of your tent as possible, that will help to do that for you. So put down in the comments if you guys know who Jake Law is. Somebody do the Google search. Google Jake Law and see what his interest is in this tent and also many of Big Agnes's tents.
Yeah. His brother is Jake Blah, but he's kind of blah.
He's not very fun.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't recommend Jake Blah. I'm totally wrecking Dan's videos. I'm intentionally sabotaging him.
Well, he is a good job. Does
Yeah,
a good job of that.
because I want him to, I want to take all his.
Actually, speaking of sabotaging my video, let's talk about your tent real quick.
Oh, let's go. This is my homeland right over here.
Let's go do that.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the big brother. Would you call it?
I think that's appropriate.
Okay. This is the Telos, right?
Telos 2-person. This is the freestanding version of the Alto.
Yep. So if you want a fully freestanding tent, not a semi-freestanding tent, you don't care about the extra weight, which is how much does this thing weigh?
It's 11 ounces more, so it's 3 pounds 10 ounces.
Okay. So, but you can divide. This also has that stuff sack that you can divide up. So then, if you are going with somebody other than yourself, you can divide up the weight. So it is.
Yeah. So it's same. A lot of the similarities cross over. You can separate the tent poles, the rainfly, and the inner mesh tent.
Yep. And similar design as far as the brow pole goes, right?
Yep. It's got the same tension ridge, so you elevate the headroom, you vertical walls, which is really nice. And then this one has the tent poles all separate, so it's fully freestanding, so you're not required to have the corners tensioned out like the Alto.
Okay.
The other main difference is that there is more real estate in this tent. What I really like about this is that I could fit a 25-inch wide pad and a 20-inch wide pad in this tent successfully. The other one, it barely fits two 21-inch wide pads if they're rectangular. So if you don't already have tapered pads, it might be a decision point for you. It has the same thing with the vertical tent, the vertical walls, the light bar.
Light bar, yep.
The same ventilation system.
He likes bars in his tent, though.
Oh,
he likes going
man,
to the bar.
I was at the bar all night last night in here. But no, I am also equally thoroughly impressed. I think this is a great tent for people who are willing to carry, like me, a little bit more weight for a little bit more luxury. So I am definitely not an ultralight hiker. This is a 3 pound, 10 ounce tent, which for some people, they're just like, nope, that's way too heavy. I'm never going to carry that. For me, that is well within the range of an acceptable weight for a tent for me.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this tent is the competition or the competitor to the Copper Spur, because I feel like that's like that was like the tent that's super luxurious that's been on the market for a long time, and then now this one's kind of like one-upping them, and the Alto is kind of like the competition to the Tiger Wall. I feel like because it's sort of one-upping the Tiger Wall, but you're paying for that in weight.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And maybe I don't know. I feel like these are both pretty. As far as the pack down side, they're not very bulky at all.
No, I will say that having used the Tiger Wall, the Alto has a lot more head clearance, a lot more headroom with that vertical wall. So I love the Tiger Wall. It's an awesome tent, but there is just a little bit more headroom in the Alto versus the Tiger Wall. So I do appreciate that.
There we go. There you go. There's your super fast overview of the Alto, which I've never used, don't own it. This is his. I've got plenty of experience in that one. Love it. Totally recommend it. I think it's a fantastic tent. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe for more. Make sure you follow Eric over at Backpacking TV, and we will see you on the next one.